What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle to Dusk Academics, and Wayno here.
I hope I get that last part in there, but anyway, what's up with y'all?
Good morning. How you doing? Yo, first, wait, before we say anything, I was waiting until we got on air to talk about this. What's up with these sneaks, my nigga?
Why don't we have the sneaker cam today?
Yeah, what's going on?
We got the sneaker cam?
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know, man. You know,
You was feeling spiffy today?
Spiffy.
I actually like these sneakers.
Yeah,
I actually, listen, this is me. I'm not like, I can never just buy like regular Nikes and spend a lot of money, so it has to have some fancy name on it. Anyway, unfortunately, I bought these sneakers when I was trying to look fancy, when I was intending to go to X's funeral. God bless her dad, I love you, X. But
Is there glitter in those shoes?
yeah, you know, it goes with black. It goes with black, my natural
so
color.
hold on,
You
you
was gonna
buy
wear that to a
shoes that you can wear
funeral?
once every 3 months?
It's like a rapper's funeral, bro. Like, come on, are we going church shoes? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And also, like, I was really inspired. I remember Kodak Black went to the VMAs in like some shit with some sparkles around it, but except it was like, what do you call it again? Louis Vuittons. I just didn't have that money.
But that's the thing,
It's
that's like a one-time
This
look.
is like
You can't buy
$800.
sneakers like this. You can't wear that often. You need a pair of just...
I pay $800 for some sneakers. I'm wearing that often. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not rich enough. I'm not Wayno rich. Wayno, when he first got on the show, which maybe the audience didn't know, that's why we implemented a sneaker cam.
What?
He didn't repeat a shoe for the first fucking like 100 days.
That's facts.
Yeah, all right. Listen, man.
So what?
This is my man JLP. He gave me some new Yeezys. Like, I forgot what they're called. I wear them like at least 2 or 3 times a week. I like them shits. I'm sorry. Like,
All right, man. Please, no more of these, okay?
what's the problem with these?
No more of those, Act.
What's the problem with these?
You
Just tell me.
it's the outfit doesn't complement the shoe.
What
First of all, the
compliments
shoe is
it?
trash, but the outfit doesn't complement it.
Nah, man. This is high fashion here, bro. You don't understand that shit.
Okay.
High fashion. I'm sorry.
Oh, look, they found this.
Yeah, they got it, man. Hold on, let me zip this shit up, man.
Oh, no.
Oh my
Gotcha.
God, man.
Come on, man.
Wait, are you going to
Nigga
zip the
hating.
other one up or not?
Huh?
Are you going to zip up one of them?
Oh, my bad. All right, fine. All I'm saying is that, listen, you never compliment my Henny shirt. And by the way, I've seen a lot of people asking me, listen, man, I like Henny, but they're not paying me. Any company, I like wines and spirits. So any company that pays me, I have Ciroc across my chest if they cut a check.
Hey, guys, welcome back to
don't we have a Henny
Everyday
sponsor?
Struggle.
Or a liquor sponsorship.
A lot of questions I can't answer for you right now, academics. I'm sorry. But
One of their brand managers got to watch the show. Hit me up. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, come on.
all right, so a lot of viewers did like the conversation that we had yesterday, especially getting into artists being independent or pretending to be independent. So we do have a couple of questions about yesterday's episode. Hey, Wayno, Ack, and Adeska. Love the conversation on yesterday's show. I really hope Wack music comes to an end this year, like Meek Mandela said. Do y'all think when it does, radio stations will start embracing and playing music from Griselda Records, Royce 5'9", and other lyrical rappers we have that don't get the love?
Can I start off for once?
Go ahead, you can start off.
I'm glad this person asked this question. Because yesterday when I was trying to even name names to ask who the Wack rappers are, I do believe like a lot of like, you know, purists, when they think of Wack rappers, they think of just the non-lyrical motherfuckers or the like, you know, like Griselda, Kendrick, you know, the Freddie Gibbs. Like they're thinking along those lines. They don't look at the rappers who are rapping about their fucking designer clothes and shoes and cars and just flexing and doing whatever in the trap or the bando. They don't look at those people as like, quote unquote, like you know that conversation of real music versus just bullshit. And I felt like that's kind of what brought that back to mind when I heard people say Wack music, but I don't think they were down to name names. Like, if this person who asked that question says, do you think the radio will start playing like Griselda and whoever else, is like, you know, the radio plays like what Wack should plays on the radio now? We all acknowledge that the Baby, Lil Baby, like, I do think people still think that's Wack music.
Really?
We've accepted them because we feel like, you know, sometimes they could be lyrical, but that type of music where it's just some braggadocious shit that's about clothes and just like, you know, material shit, people still think that's Wack music. They're just not at the point to say that's Wack because so many people fuck with it.
I'm glad you said that, Act, because a lot of times, I'll say specifically Westside Gunn, he talks about a lot of braggadocious shit. He has a tattoo on his forehead that says Fly God. He talks about Balenciagas and Gucci and all that fly shit. He has a lot of the same context of music that Lil Baby might have. He just says it differently and uses different beats. So it's not like they're saying two different things. Even Benny the Butcher raps about selling drugs. So do Lil Baby. Like they got a lot of the same shit. They just formatted differently. That's why I love seeing Westside Gunn and P together from QC, because there's a mutual respect there.
I'm glad you said that. Yo, we're getting mad far today. I felt like yesterday we ran into a block, even though I don't think we will still name names, but it's cool. Okay. Yo, okay, glad you said that.
Okay.
I think the format's what people used to just think is whack.
Yeah.
Like, I think the people who are still saying whack music or whatever, like, name some of them, like, they're the people who are still resenting certain type of production and certain type of just, melodies or whatever. You get me? Because, again, if you're saying the content is pretty much almost similar,
it's the same, yeah.
right? I do believe people look at like some other shit that sounds like it should be playing the strip club, regardless if they're talking about the same shit. The beat sounds like that, the flow and the vibe. They're just saying that's quote unquote whack because it doesn't sound like a classic instrumental or something like that.
Because they're not using the same type of beats. Because it's like, I think about, all right, Lil Baby said, if you want to smoke with us, you couldn't go out. Fucking Benny the Butcher said, what the fuck he said? We'll never squash it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we love beef, we'll never squash it. It's like the same type of shit. They just saying it over different type of beats. I think you're right. Like, they just not listening. Right. I think today, the casual listener today would think that if Bone Thugs and Harmony was a new group today, they would call them mumble rappers. For real, I feel like they would call them mumble rappers just because they're not listening to understand what they're saying. Like, I don't think, I listen to Thug a lot, but like, I had to really dig into him to really hear what he was saying, but he's not a mumble rapper. You know what I mean? Like, he actually says shit, but people just don't even want to give the chance based on the appearance or based on, like, the type of beat. They like, man, I'm not listening to that shit. That shit ain't the real shit. It's like, how is it not the real shit?
I'm so good. Today's a good day.
Usually you don't like it much when you guys agree.
Because, like, I think, we're coming to somewhat of a synergy in, understanding this whole point of whack versus not whack. Because, like, and again, if I'm wrong, I look towards the people who watch the show first and foremost, but anybody else could chime in, or even Wayne or you. In 2014, of course, people liked the Migos. They had, I believe Hannah Montana might have been out then, but definitely Versace. But like, when people were talking about the talented rappers, like, they were not in the conversation. Right? It was like, okay, like, if anything, they would more fall on the whack rappers list, honestly, because they weren't super lyrical. And honestly, like, they didn't have a lot of quote unquote content in terms of, like, for example, a Kendrick, he's rapping about more than just like, how many different times or different ways could you say you just like had sex with some chick in a trap and you sold a brick and you hustled this, or like, you know what I mean? Like, again, people didn't really consider that as content, right? And I felt like over time, it came to the point that even like, last year, as we saw Offset drop his project, like, a lot of people said, yo, Offset could rap. Yeah. You know what I mean? And when those type of labels get put on certain artists that historically they would have not been seen as that. Like, for example, like, I thought, remember we were having, it wasn't this, the last Everyday Struggle Awards, it was the one before, so it was 2018. Remember, I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. I know we talking about verse of the year, but throw Lil Baby in it. And again, despite the conversation we're having, historically in 2000, let's say just 2010, that would have sounded ridiculous. Like, in the culture to have that. And I do believe when I hear...
He's so nice, though. He's always been lyrical. Even though the content is... I understand the point you're making, but some of the people you named previously for saying they weren't lyrical, I feel like Baby's always been lyrical.
But I think that people kind of misconstrue that you don't have to be, like, you don't have to be the most lyrical to be good. There's always been, like, UGK, right? UGK, I just bring them as an example because for some reason I'm thinking about Houston right now. I think that, like, Bun B was a better rapper than Pimp C. Pimp C wasn't the most lyrical rapper, but he could rap. Even when I think about 3-6, like, do you remember when Juicy J went on that fucking mixtape tear? Like, early 2000s, 2011, 12, 13?
Yeah.
Yo, Juicy J is not the most lyrical rapper, but he put out some fucking great mixtapes, you know what I mean? Where he kind of got a new spark, like a second shot, like how 2 Chainz had got. I think that, like, everybody just has this bar where it's like, if it ain't that, then it ain't good. But even if you from New York and you grew up on, like, traditional New York hip hop, in that era, there was people from all over places that had great music that weren't super duper lyrical.
In the conversation of whack music versus not, like, I'm telling you, I could go back to when I'm in middle school. I could go back when I'm in high school, you know, Hackensack High School. And, like, when it came to, like, people just debating on the dope rappers versus the whack rappers, you would always hear people say like the lesser commercial, but just more about like lyricism. Like for example, they'd be like, yo, like Joe is the nicest, like Joe Budden, you get me? But if you had mentioned like at that time someone who was doing popular music and maybe have been down from down south, like it would have sounded ludicrous to even, so like it was almost a line in the sand, right?
Yeah.
It was like, this is what it means to not be whack music. I just feel like now people are, that line has changed a bit where we could be like, no, Lil Baby, even though he's making that type of music that back in like 2008 or 2006, y'all might have called him one of the, like, I really think,
I don't think that about Lil Baby, just because
I really think so, bro.
I don't think about, because I look at now like Jeezy, right? Jeezy is not, I don't look at Jeezy as like a super lyrical rapper, but Jeezy has made some of the best albums that ever come out in hip hop, right? Now, I think that Baby, as far as rapping ability, might got a little bit of edge there, and he has the same type of context coming from the streets. If it's some shit that's coming from the streets, you're gonna relate to it depending on the delivery. Like, you know what I think about when people say like whack rappers and shit? All right, like how D4L, everybody, Laffy Taffy, right? Like, all right, so Laffy Taffy, that was looked at as like whack rap or whatever. But then Shorty Low had a few records by itself that was really good, and fucking Spaceships on Bankhead by Fabo, that's one of my favorite records too. It's not the most lyrical shit, but it's not that it's not good. There is, listen, whack, niggas being trash is never going to end. There's always going to be tears. There's always going to be people who are not as good as the others. But I think we just got to take, like, motherfuckers got to really start taking a look.
So are you guys surprised to hear, we'll just get this in here now, that Game feels the same way? After the whole conversation, continuing this conversation, he said on Instagram yesterday that he's blaming the internet for brainwashing people, basically. The internet forces you to listen to whack music. So much of it, you're brainwashed to think that it actually sounds like something. Are you surprised to hear him express this sentiment?
What's the difference between that and the radio, though? You know what I mean? The radio, like...
Bro, the radio is strong right now.
But radio's always been...
Stronger than usual. I'm just saying the people, it's like you said, it's like Roddy and the Baby. It's like people who are actually rapping
radio
on the radio right
brainwashes
now.
you too. Like, you know what, one day I noticed? Like, no bullshit. I was just, one day, I think, like, I was somewhere and One Dance was on and I knew every fucking word. I knew every word to One Dance. And I'm like, how the fuck? Because I heard it on the radio so many times. To where, like... I knew it, so, and I'm not calling that a whack song. But are kids listening to, not kids, but like our audience, like some of us, I think while you're driving, you're listening to radio, but like, are they listening to radio like that for that? Kids don't listen to no fucking radio at all. Kids is on the internet all the time, but they have things on demand. I think the music game is just so widespread, and what I'll say is that it's more polluted with people who don't really look at rap as a craft. They look at it as a hustle. It's like every 5 seconds, you get somebody that had a viral moment, now they got a record. Or it's people that's going into labels that all they do is remix other people's records or do like be spoofs of other people. Did you ever see the dude, like the trap Michael Jackson nigga?
Yeah.
Exactly, it's like his whole lane was him just making like Michael Jackson sounding songs over pop beats. And people are actually taking means. I think that's where it goes wrong, because it's like, okay, the numbers are going up, so let's see how we can monetize it, as opposed to, I really like this person, let me develop them into a big artist and make something out of them.
You mentioned, again, I'm still in the pursuit of figuring out what whack music is. Because, again, like, I put out a theory of saying, you know what, the non-lyrical music, or not even non-lyrical, but the music that is over a certain production that is like, you know, the same old shit, I'm wearing this, trap bando shit, like people just call whack. But Wayno said, no, that's not it. Now, when you mentioned D4L, I said, okay, let me adjust my thinking of what whack music really is, because I do think people you would call D4L whack rappers, right? So what do I associate D4L and what they made Laffy Taffy as? Gimmicky or simplistic music. You get me? Where it's of course non-lyrical, but it's gimmicky or it's just like super simplistic. But then I also look at it and I say, all right, cool, let's up it like 6 years later after they came out. We literally have the Migos, and I don't think no one would sit here and say the Migos were considered whack rappers.
Better rappers than D4L, like by far.
Okay, no, honestly,
but there's a point in time.
I do think that was proven in time.
Yeah.
But when they just came on the scene, they were making a lot of simplistic, catchy shit, which I'm really struggling to figure out what Wack music is in 2020.
I was bumping No Label too. Like it was a tape that they had before that. I forgot which one it was, but I was bumping No Label too heavy. And a lot of niggas was like, man, you listening to that bullshit? Like you listen to that bullshit? But I took the chance to listen to them because the first time I heard Migos was when I seen them do Bando on World Star, on the top box on World Star. Cool, right? I started really like, let me get a mixtape a shot. Before Versace, right? Like before Versace and then after Versace. They had a lot of like good songs on there. And at that time, I was just super Metro Boomin fan because he was producing a lot of the beats and Murder at that time. If you take the time to really listen to certain people, you get something out of it. Like even, I feel like, all right, since we speaking about it a few times, Benny the Butcher, right? If Benny the Butcher and Lil Baby made a song together,
I think it will work.
I think it works too because they not rapping about different things. They rapping about the same exact shit. It's just that Benny rapping on different beats and Baby rapping on different beats, but they talking about a perspective that comes from the same place.
It's true. We have one more question. I think it's whack if you could remove the rapper who made that hit song and just replace it with another rapper and they could still do it. If you could like plug and play.
Yeah.
Like you can't take Kendrick off a song and put someone else and they're gonna make it what Kendrick does or what Drake does or what the Migos do or Baby. You know what I mean? Their delivery and everything like that.
Hey, until, and again, you know, I think
you
yesterday...
can't get the perfect definition, but I feel like you guys got
I think yesterday, unfairly, I was trying to have Wayno, you know, like kind of like, who are the Wack rappers? But he's not the nigga saying this. And to be honest, some of the people who I do think these motherfuckers are talking about, they're not calling names.
I'm gonna tell you who.
You get me?
And I say this real quick. Lastly, the who I think are the real Wack rappers are the ones who are misleading, the ones who not. And it's not about like I don't expect you to say that. All right, I'll tell you like. I don't expect you to say, all right, if I'm rapping about a shooting, then I'm actually doing a shooting. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you're rapping about living a certain type of life, and when you go do an interview, if you're not speaking about consequence, you know what I mean? If you're not telling your real story, if your perspective is just you saying whatever you could put together just to get a buck, if you're not being authentic in your approach and how you're doing your music, that's a Wack rapper.
What if you make those songs and you go to do the interview and you just say, I don't do this at all? So you're not talking about consequences.
I don't believe we went with that at all because I got two rappers in mind. Like we have Lil Tecca who literally went to Jesus
like,
and said,
oh,
yeah, but I'm not looking at Lil Tecca. I'm not looking. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not
looking at him as a rapper.
No, I'm not looking at Lil Tecca as a nigga that's busting a gun. I'm looking at a person who's
really trying to make you believe it.
On the exterior, like on people, because it's multiple. I could go on for days. But like who?
Future. Future says a lot of stuff he's saying his music these days, it's not to the extent he does it. Shit, even The Weeknd just recently came out to say the drug use that I'm singing about and promoting, I ain't doing that.
But you know why? You know why I accept what I accept from Future, because if you watch his docs or you know his story, a lot of the shit that he talks about is things that he actually went through. Okay. Now, I'm not, of course, like we all know the pros and cons to using drugs and not, right? But I'm not talking specifically about drug usage. I'm just saying if you're not an authentic person. You following?
No, listen. Like, you know, I'm completely following. I'm just trying to be because you know what? Like, so much of rap is subjective, and while we're here to debate, it's like I try to find a objective silver lining where we could actually have an opinion to be on either side of the fence, right? So even with that, right? So like, okay, cool. Kendrick's good Kid, Mad City. Like, of course, he talked about stuff, and I'm not specifically getting at Kendrick, but I'm talking about the point of view. He said, hey, listen, while I didn't do the shit, I was a bystander. So could we really get at other people who made just like, they have it in their music, they don't do it themselves, but shit, they came from the hood.
But bystanders, yeah, is different than growing up in the environment and telling stories you saw versus literally just making up a persona if you grew up in the suburbs.
Kendrick's telling it from like a first person.
Like, I'm telling y'all, we gotta.
You just always want names.
No, who the fuck did, like honestly, I know a lot of people who, they add the sauce, which is the extra cap, like, yeah, I was the one selling like 1 million drugs. No, you actually set a couple dime bags on the corner, it's fine.
Yeah, or never sold anything at all.
Okay, maybe that too, but still, you were in the environment where it was happening.
Yeah.
Like, I think the way y'all describing it sounds like a complete fucking fraud. Like, he's over there and he's rapping about a lifestyle that
it's a lot of frauds, bro. It's a lot of frauds.
Write them down on the paper. I'll say their names. Like, I really want to know. Like,
it's a lot of frauds, but let's keep it moving.
Okay, so we do have another question. Let's see. Everyday Struggle, great episode on today's rap. Ak was on one, and Wayno had great points. Wanted to know if y'all think diss records have become something from the past in rap, since no one seems to diss each other on a record. Like Wayno said, seems like they just take subliminal shots on the internet. Is it over?
Nah, it's not over, but it's like, niggas don't diss each other because they can't rap. like, seriously, it's like, like I said, I was going there, like, I was going through, like, all the state, because you know what it was? It was after the whole Quentin Miller shit that we was talking about and everything, and I was thinking about back to back and this, that, and the third, and I just was like, yo, let me go down the wormhole of, like, diss records, and I went back to, like, Jadakiss and Beanie Siegel and, like, Major Figures, dissing State Property, just a bunch of people. There's nothing more disrespectful to say than I'll kill you. You know what I mean? Like, and they was just saying, like, but it was in lyrical context. It wasn't like, some of it I felt like could really happen, but a lot of it was just like lyrical ability. And I'm like, yo, these dudes that's beefing today, imagine, like, come on, bro. Like, remember when Rich the Kid and Lil Uzi? And I feel like Lil Uzi has the ability to rap because he's from Philly. He still has it in him. But imagine how a diss record from Rich, or that diss beef would have played out on record.
Do you think it's scarier to lose a beef? Well, not a real beef, but if you're dissing people on record, the internet's a little bit brutal, right? There's a lot, it's like a different dynamic these days. People can roast you directly. Is it some of that as well, or you think people just can't rap?
And that's, actually, I don't agree with Wayno that they can't rap. I do agree overall that maybe the rapping ability of some of the people that have problems with each other aren't as high. No. Bro, hold on. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, okay, you're thinking traditional diss records. Like, you're thinking about some classics.
I'm thinking about ability. Yeah, I'm thinking about, because that's what rap is,
but
ability.
That's for the fans. But I'm just thinking about what beef is and what a diss song usually means, right? So, of course, you're thinking about the Ethers, No Vaselines. You're thinking about Back to Back, Hit 'Em Up. Of course, you're thinking about, like, those records. Like, I think there's a lot of times we do see artists with issues and we don't see them put it in the music, like even of course maybe not lyrical, but just be like, yo, fuck so and so. You don't even see that in the record because in music, because honestly I just think the consequences are a little bit too high on all sides. You know what I mean? I do think these days, you know, where there's so much more festivals where, like, back in the day,
don't want to get beat up in front on the camera. That's all.
No, but back in the day, like, you could have, like, literally 6 or 7 parallel careers where y'all still don't run into each other unless, like, you have to go to someone's city, and even then, whatever. Like, these days, all these things are at festivals, right? Like, and then also, when you look at how, like, these particular artists treat what they've worked for, is like, all right, Wayno is not as successful as me, and I'm the poppin' rapper. He disses me, I don't like him, and I really am saying to myself, fuck this nigga, but if I mention his name in the song, now my fans are tuned into what he's doing because they want to hear it, he's going to respond. So the consequences are, you could almost fucking, like, give someone a time of day, and that's why, like, remember when even on a competitive sports shit, Tory brought that up in terms of joining. He's like, yo, honestly, I'm kind of doing you a favor because these days I'm sharing my fans with you.
But at the same time, it's just like, maybe I'm just too much of, like, a nostalgic person with that. I just like the whole idea of, when it comes to battle rapping, I'm better than you. And if you don't think I'm better than you, then you prove it. And then let's go back and forth until the people decide. Well, I'm getting more money. I get more money than a show than this nigga. Like, all that's cool, but I'm just saying, like, if we enjoy rap, we enjoy hip hop. I really didn't grow up giving a fuck about what my favorite artists had in their pockets. I just liked who was the better artist when it came to the battling scene.
All right, but even think about, like, even the last battle we've seen publicly, at least the last real one, not the, you know, just.
What's the last real one?
Well, we're talking about Drake and Pusha, right?
Yeah.
Like, with that, like, Drake only responded because, again, given what I've said, Drake does himself no favor to respond to Pusha T. He actually does Pusha a favor, especially when Pusha got a record out at that time. Let's be very honest. He told him, I'm gonna send an invoice for the extra 20,000.
Bro, you act like it's not a thing that he wanted. Like it's not just a personal thing.
No. But
it's him sharpening his sword as well.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Like, unless we're dealing with straight lyricists, we're not gonna see that. You feel me? Like of course he wanted to make a legacy play where I'm responding to you and I'm just showing you that I'm that guy. But in most cases where people don't like each other, it's like, no, I'm not gonna give you a back and forth on record. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what
you only do it. I think the artists, like, if you can do it, you only do it to who you feel is deserving. You feel you do it to a worthy opponent. I don't think that, even though, you know, of course, Drake, he downplays it a lot. Like, man, that guy, I don't speak about him, this and the third. But if he didn't feel like he was a worthy opponent, he wouldn't have said nothing to him in the first place. The thing about Drake is because he's looked at as like this R&B nigga, we act like he ain't grow up watching the same shit and listening to the same shit we did too. I agree. He wants problems with niggas. Yo, all these niggas be wanting problems. That's why I said the shit I said about Kendrick. Kendrick is supposed to be this nice guy, but I promise you, if anybody put him in a position where he had to go back and forth with you, he would try to go the furthest to dismantle you.
And that's what I'm saying. It's an antiquated, almost art form.
But all these other niggas can't rap. Like if you,
not necessarily.
No, these niggas can't rap, bro. Like just keep it 100, bro. Like
I'll bring up an issue.
80%. Wait, real quick. Don't forget your thought, because I want you to tell me. But 80% of, I say like 80% of these young niggas today that they just beefing about, oh nigga, you came through, you ain't tap in, we took your jewelry. Think about these raps. Think about these battles. That's not something you want to hear.
I think these days on a back and forth, you're either doing it for the respect of the other person, just because you want to compete with them, or you're doing it for respect to the art.
Right.
Like in other cases, because like these two people, I don't think y'all would say either can't rap.
Ooh.
When it came to Russ and Guap Dad, Russ felt certain type of way about what Guap Dad said on record. Now, granted, I get what
right.
I know what you're gonna go with it.
Go ahead.
But still, he could have responded on a record. But for him, he's like, I'm not even gonna give, like, you have. And he even consistently mentioned that. He's like, yo, you're an up-and-coming rapper. I get you're reaching, but the fact that you're even gonna do it with me, I'd rather punch you in the mouth in real life rather than actually rap back.
Because it didn't start. It didn't start with the music like that. A lot of the raps that we talking about, it was like this. I mean, it started with the music. He said his name on something, but I'm just saying it's not like Guap Dad was challenging him. You get what I'm saying? Like when you think about a Beanie Sigel and a Jadakiss, who is like two fucking lyrical titans or whatever you want to call them, they were challenging each other in bars. Like, they were just challenging each other. Even when you look at Joe Budden and fucking Game, like, it comes from a certain place, but they, like, Joe whole thing at that time was like, nigga, I can rap better than this nigga. He can't rap better than me. That's what they gripes was. I can out-rap this nigga. It wasn't, oh, you said my name, you know I don't like niggas saying that I'm a L, so I'm gonna put my hands on you just because you disrespected me. Now, if Guap Dad, which I don't think he would, if he challenged him on some music shit, then it would have been a different outcome. But we just don't see that happen anymore because a lot of these niggas can't rap. And I think Russ can rap, but I don't think we would ever see a Guap Dad Russ play out on record. You know what I mean?
I know at least in pairs, 20 different pairs of rappers who don't like each other. Yeah. And before they would ever rap a bar in the other's direction, they would wait 2 years to see each other and possibly do something in person. And I just feel like we're kind of like past that a little bit. Yeah. Unless you're making a legacy play or you want to prove something, which is only a few people who do feel like they want to.
Okay. Yeah, so the answer to that question was it's sort of over, but they do not agree why it's...
We've been arguing for 27 minutes? Goddamn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, 28 minutes almost. We might get to maybe one more topic. How about this? So Tory Lanez about to celebrate a new milestone. He says he's about to drop a project called New Toronto 3 in March, and when that comes out, it's official. He's done with his deal with Interscope. He said there's no bad blood with the label. He had a 5-album deal. He's like, I gave them about 12 projects and albums if you're counting all the mixtape. Officially go on record and say I exceeded the mark. But then he also goes on to admit that he hasn't really dropped the kind of music he's wanted in the past few years. And sometimes he was just kind of freestyling things, and every once in a while he would like go at least 60% so people wouldn't say that he's trash. Is that what you got from Tory's music in the past few years? Like, and what are you expecting from him now that he's...
I thought he was giving his all. Like, it didn't seem like he was taking a step off to me. I mean, I would like to really speak with Tory and see what he really wanted to do, because to me, it seemed like Tory was being Tory. I never looked at any of his music as it wasn't something that he wanted to do. You know, also, you know, for how much music he's put out, that is a lot. 12 projects, you know. But I know how that happens, you know, because sometimes labels might trick you into, yo, you got to get hot, man. Like we'll put out this right quick to get you going, and then we'll put out your album. But I never looked at Tory as him not doing him. All his music sounds like he's in fucking control.
Yeah, if you really look at his albums versus mixtapes, or even if you're a fan of the Chixtape series versus the New Toronto series, or, I mean, just like, again, the LPs that he puts out, it looks like it's him trying to appease different fan bases, not him being like a label robot or a puppet just kind of putting out whatever. When I see tweets like this, you know, I remember with Yo Gotti sitting here, and like right before he got on, I don't know if he tweeted in the green room or maybe somebody from his team tweeted out. They basically said, we're off, like we're free agents after this motherfucker. You get me? I think it's a negotiation tactic. We're gonna be talking about it. People are gonna be talking about it. You know, Tory is pretty much a very important commodity in music. I could imagine other labels when they know this, you know, because sometimes this info is proprietary information in terms of, who knows, he could have re-upped the last time when, you know, they were going through some stuff and he was like gonna expose Interscope or whatever. Then he went radio silent. I think most people would assume that he re-upped, which means he probably signed on for a couple more projects.
Right.
Him saying this lets everybody know, no, I did not.
Right.
I'm a free agent, send me offers, let's take meetings, okay? I don't look at this tweet as anything.
All right, I'm still amazed that those 2 fan questions took up a whole episode. We appreciate you guys. Keep sending those. But before we go, we definitely want to highlight a fairly new artist. So today's fast break artist is D Smoke. He's from Inglewood, California. Some of you may know him as the winner of the first season of Rhythm and Flow on Netflix. The judges really, really liked him, Cardi, T.I., and Chance especially. He definitely impressed Cardi rapping in Spanish. So the challenge is cool because they put them through battles. They had to do ciphers, collaborations, make music videos. So it was like a well-rounded test. And in early February, he released his debut album called Black Habits, which was a follow-up to his 2019 EP called Inglewood High. A couple standout songs like No Commas, Black Habits, and Honey Jack. And over the weekend, he performed and walked out with Deontay Wilder. So he comes from a very musical family. When he was young, his mom used to sing backup for Tina Turner and Michael Jackson. And he was a writer earlier in his career. He and his brother Sir even won an ASCAP for co-writing a song for Jaheim. He's written for the Pussycat Dolls, Genuine, and just a dope dude. I did an Apple in-store with him a few weeks ago. He used to be a teacher as well, so he definitely commands a room very well. What do you guys think of D Smoke?
Wow, so yo, I haven't even watched Rhythm and Flow. I didn't watch it once. I actually met D Smoke in Chicago for All-Star Weekend. I was out there. I just kept seeing his name all over social. So like I met him and I was just like, yo, I want to definitely catch up on your music because I don't know what's going on. He was like, nah, it's all good. And on my flight back this weekend from Cali, I listened to his album Black Habits, and I ain't gonna lie, I was super impressed. Like super impressed. Like I think in terms of albums and content and all the things we talk about, like give substance, he has a really, really good album for me to hear somebody for the first time. I didn't know that he was Sir's brother. I mean, because I seen a few pictures and I'm like, who is this dude that looks like him? I thought they were just friends.
But that's the cool thing. It's like he didn't try to like make that a big deal publicly, although like in the show you see his family shows up. They're definitely very supportive, but him and Sir have been recording music together since they were super young. Yeah,
and I see a lot of the Kendrick comparisons, but I think like if you're thinking about like just Cali music and how he probably grew up, that's just how the sound is from the type of person he is. Him rapping in Spanish, I didn't know that. I didn't know he did that on the show because I haven't seen the show. Yeah. But I was listening, I'm like, yo, this dude rapping in Spanish, it kind of threw me off. But yo, he's really good. I think he's gonna be around to stay for a bit.
What's good?
Yeah, you. What's good?
I'm gonna be honest with you. My first thought about him was that this is nepotism at its finest. I ain't gonna lie. I heard that the whole Rhythm and Flow shit was rigged. Not that his ability didn't warrant him winning, but like because of a lot of associations and he was putting in work for a while. So me, when I hear shit like that, like I'm so glad like at least now I hear like the fucking bullshit that happens behind the industry doors that I just get wary. So like now you need to prove yourself like a million times. So like while everybody else might be sold on you, you want to show, you know, there was a little clout that comes with that and people are, okay, let's see what's up. I'm like, all right, I'm giving you a tougher time to even prove yourself. You know, I did see some, and actually listen to some music where I could actually be like, yo, he does have ability, but I'm still in the wait and see process with him, honestly. But I do think, you know, if it's someone who we think is talented, I do think he's talented.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at him because when I always think about the entertainment business, and even though we argue about a lot of things here, I look at two things, talent and then the it factor. And a lot of people talent that they're involved in the music industry, but they're not a star.
Right.
And the it factor is what makes you be that chosen one. You get me? Like the baby, like he's like, to me, 80% it factor, even though his talent is like almost 80% as well.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with him, and you know, I'm waiting to see on how he, not only with the music, just how he actually handles everything.
Gotcha.
All right, go check out D-Smoke, Black Habits. And now we want to get into our struggle tunes. So these are some of our favorite songs that have dropped in the past 3 months. Wayno's going to kick us off. Although I feel like you picked too many songs this time, didn't you?
What
I feel like you put like 6 songs in the group chat last night.
I thought it was 5 in an honorable mention.
I thought it was 4 and I don't know. You might be
all right, I might have been on one. All right, so starting out, I got, since we staying on the D-Smoke, I got D-Smoke, Sun Kissed Child with Jill Scott. That's my favorite joint off of there. Nat, and he has another. It's just a good project. Check it out. Secondly, I got In My City, King's Most Wanted, featuring MCM Raymond. It's a young dude coming up from Cali. Like, he's really dope. Element by my man Pop Smoke. Had to throw my man Pop Smoke in there. You know, Element to me is like one of the standout records because it doesn't sound like, you know, all the other drill shit. Yeah. Is really distinctive. Then I got Activated by my man Sada Baby. That's another joint that's moving pretty fast. Sada Baby is gonna have a tremendous year. And then my favorite joint off of A Boogie's album, well, one of them. There's a few of them. One of them. But Numbers, you know, the one that Act made him change the name for, which was Anti-Social Gangster, right? And then can I get my honorable mention in? My honorable mention is Good Morning Tokyo by Tokyo's Revenge. What really made me like this song is the video. You know how sometimes you just hear it? I heard it a lot on Instagram, it's like cool, but then I saw the video is really dope, so.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's 5 plus honorable mention. It just seemed like a lot. I guess I'm tripping. Act?
Ain't that Tokyo Revenge person the brother of somebody too?
Is he?
I think, man. I be really big on nepotism when it comes to music.
I don't know.
Because nobody, because I wish I had a brother or father that just brought me in like, come on, nigga.
Me too, but I didn't know that, but he actually has a good song though, and the video is dope. The video is really, really dope.
All right. Anyway, my list, Life is Good, the remix. I got Future, Aubrey, Lil Baby and the Baby. I just believe this record, you know, I love the of course, the main original single, but yo, Future is floating right now. I think Future is having another, like that year that led up to What a Time to Be Alive, you know, that Future Hive year where everybody like was so proud of him because he came off 3 like classic mixtapes. I think he's in that wave once again. You get me? So I love that song. I thought he floated on it. By the way, Lil Baby killed it like usual. Me and My Guitar, like A Boogie's project, I feel like I heard it from the preview. I just love that record. You know, like again, in hindsight, thinking about his album, I understood why, you know, I spoke with somebody who gave me a really dope like synopsis of his album, and they wished it was a little bit more darker, but he's actually in a more happier place in his life, you know what I mean? And I'm still one of those people who, I won't mind like a couple of artists who I rely on for heartbreak music or whatever to give me some dark shit. And even though it's a up-tempo song, that Me and My Guitar shit, I like it. Okay. What else? Number 3, Going Left Field. I'm one of the things in like, you know, at least for me in like, you know, in analyzing music is finding out like these different avenues or different genres or subgenres. I feel music, because American music these days are just copying shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh, Afrobeat's popping, now Afrobeat's a new pop. You get me? Oh, Latin trap's popping, Latin trap is a new pop. I think, you know, like there's this like Dominican rap, I don't know what to call it. It's not exactly Latin trap, but it's like most of Latin trap artists, like Bad Bunny, they're from like Puerto Rico, but like in Dominican Republic, there's these artists that they're rapping and they're creating like a new sound. One of them is Rochi RD, the song Roomba. Like, super like catchy. Again, I don't even know like what the fuck they're saying, but like the visuals, and I just kind of like it.
That's good
you know
music.
What I mean? It's exactly, just good music, whether you understand all the words or not. Then I go on to my 4th pick, which is NBA YoungBoy Lil Top. You know, that's actually vying this week to possibly knock off Roddy Ricch at the box off the #1 spot. Don't think it will, but I do think, you know, again, the thing with YoungBoy, every time he comes with a project, he always got that one song that kind of sticks out amongst all other songs he has, and this is the one that's kind of catching most traction. I kind of like it too, you know, like his album is pretty solid, but I told you he's on a run early in the week. The last one, I'm back to A Boogie, because Boogie's album, even though it just came out like 2 weeks ago, it actually leaked like about 3 months ago. And one of the songs that I heard in that leak, I try not to listen to leak, but it's Boogie, I had to listen. It's the song with him and Young Thug called Might Not Give Up. Super dope. Honestly, if you ask me, other than Mood Swings, that should have been a single. So that, and then my honorable mention, rest in peace to Pop Smoke, I gotta go with Dior, even though it's not a new song, but honestly, like the other songs, I don't like as much as Dior, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll make mine really quick. Snow Allegra put out one of the best R&B albums of 2019, and we didn't talk about it here, unfortunately. But Wayno's made me feel brave now that we can talk about this. You know what I mean? So she put out a remix of one of the biggest songs, one of my favorite songs on there, with Pharrell. So she's on here. Pop Smoke, of course, R.I.P. I put Christopher Walken. Brent Faiyaz, he dropped a really dope EP called, well, I'll just say project, called Fuck the World. So I picked Been Away. He's really dope. He's like a R&B singer with rapper swag. Just
I'm gonna Google
cool
that nigga. I've only heard you mention him.
He's really
poppin'?
I mean, you've heard him before. He was
I thought
on,
it was a desk
what's
artist.
it, Crew? Nah, I'm not signing artist. I don't have the patience for that. He was on that Gold Link song, like Crew. So he's really dope. You should check him out. He has a couple of really, really dope records.
He was on Crew? Did he get credits? I never seen one.
Reason, Showstop, supposedly has a joint project coming. Excited to hear.
That's the Reason.
And Coda the Friend also put out one of my favorite projects last year called Photo. He's releasing new music, so I picked her song Monday. My honorable mention's kind of a cheat because this is supposed to be 3 months. This song came out a little bit longer, but the project might have came later. It's a South African singer. Her name is Elaine, and I picked the song called You're the One. It's like trap, soul, R&B. It's just good vibes. Go check her out.
Put that in the group chat. I want to listen to a few of your drinks.
Got you.
Around.
And to end on a very serious note, here is a video that went viral of a cop putting his boot on Uzi's $3 million Bugatti.
He's putting the boot on little Uzi Vert's car. Look at him. Man, come on. Soldier ain't from the hood, but little Uzi Vert, come on, he's loud here. Come on, man. Come on. What you doing, man? Leave him alone. That's that. You know you're gonna get in trouble, bro. You're scratching the bottom. Scratching it. You're scratching it.
The colors on that car are so crazy. So apparently after the cop removed the boot, like Uzi parked in the same place. I don't know, man. Are we ever getting this album?
Oh no. We get new
He's
cars.
got bigger problems like this, yeah.
Listen, we get new cars from Uzi every couple months. I don't know about the album.
I can't even lie. I'm hoping that Uzi buys 5 more of these cars. This car is retailed for $3 million.
Goodness.
After you spend $3 million a couple times, you'll have to put out music. I don't care. I don't care how rich you are. So I'm glad he has this Bugatti. I hope he
Can you
keeps
lease
getting...
one of these, or do you have to buy this? This is like an all-cash purchase?
I mean, I've never heard about people leasing Bugattis,
50
but it's probably...
50 said that French was leasing his.
So you
Well, I
can't-
mean, is it
What would
lease
the
or
lease
just
be
rented
like on
in short term?
Like
I don't know.
3 G's a month?
That shit is hell no.
crazy?
If you was
10
leasing
Gs a
that,
month?
10, that should have probably be like 50 G's a
like a
month to
10-year
lease some
lease?
shit like that.
This is millions.
Yeah, that should probably be like 50 bands a month.
Yeah, it's
Not a good investment, but you know,
All right.
niggas will nig.
That's it. That's our show for today.
No, I love seeing the rappers I like just run through money because I know they're gonna
man.
be broke in a few months.
It's really
They're
sad
gonna
when you
out
put it
music.
like that, though.
No, but if they're not gonna give us music, they're enjoying all the money. They gotta run out of the money to want to make more music to get more money. What's the problem?
What's the
I
problem?
understand it.
You're right. When you get too comfortable, you don't create good art, right?
That is fact.
All right, man. Keep sending us your questions. Thank you for watching. We'll see you here tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.